Hi everyone, welcome back to the Advancement Centre and to the world of magic and miracles as we elevate ourselves once again to where everything's free and easy and the movement is natural and nothing but the feeling of free movement imposes on any part of your being. As that settles into place and I make sure that I'm connected to everyone individually, we'll just mention that the elevated platform of living is now your home. And as soon as I mention it, you can feel that it surrounds you and holds you steady in a whole different place to where you were months ago. That elevated platform is about to be lifted again. And we're going to take it a bit higher, not to get away from anything because we're not associated with anything as we are now. But within each person, there's a sense of logic, a sense of conditioned balance that we're going to actually move past so that we feel ourselves moving in what would be a beautifully coloured haze, which is the mixture of everything that's ever been in our life and everything that's touching us now. And as you feel that perfect balance come into play, it's easy to feel the bubble that you're in. That bubble is the total balance of everything about you coming into focus in calm perfection without anything attached in any way. And a sense of logic doesn't even exist because there's no up and there's no down. There's no looking the right direction. It's your special bubble that holds your special beauty. And it exudes, I can't think of the word, but it generates calmness beyond anything you could possibly compare in any world. And it transmits this sense of calmness to everything around you, to all things and all people. And because we're sitting on the elevated platform of living, we can allow that bubble to rise up above the platform. And there we are, our original selves, in the earth plane, with everything we've ever known. Not just from here, but from everywhere. This is the sense that allows the world to feel totally comfortable and allows it to settle and leave all aggression behind. Because the only thing we feel is perfect sphere, sitting above everything else, with no need to do anything to keep it there. And as we decide to move that bubble anywhere in the universe, it appears instantly, without any force and without the sense of acceleration that causes you difficulty in Earth's plane. When you feel the power of another person or you feel the power of a simian, it's because you're in a plane where acceleration is uncomfortable. So the energies that come to take you to where you want to be are very powerful because they can accelerate through all the limits to wherever you need to go. But if you live on that elevated platform of living and you allow yourself to exist in that special bubble, there are no forces applicable. And any acceleration has no reference. And so you can and do exist wherever you want to, under all circumstances, totally calm, without a thought and without one sense of need for survival. Why we went to this place after so long and didn't tell you about it until now is because it's new to all of us. It's only available because we reached that point. It's not anything that's been knowledge in this world before. And so what you've achieved is appearing as something totally new, totally comfortable and perfect in your own being. So on this day, I suppose it's a special day in the calendar of the world. And it's also a special day for the fathers in the United States. But on top of that, it seems like it's just that special time when our own personal bubble came into form for us to enjoy for the rest of our lives. Without explanation, it's easy to see that many of the logical formats and many of the logical thoughts we've had in the past mean nothing. And in that bubble, you are touching everyone and everything with that gentleness that you've always known you had. The gentleness that brings no reaction to anything. So as we enjoy that new state, we're advancing faster than if we studied, worked hard, ran around the country, published everything. And we're doing it because there's nothing to do except be present. And you don't even have to enjoy your own presence. All that you stepped past. You just are who you are, in your own special bubble, doing the beautiful things to the world that you always wanted to do. And you can feel your energy just kick into gear and start to do its own thing. And it's generating all the special energies and miracles that you could never see before. and I got this friendly fly, wants to get in one ear or the other, and it's disturbing, but it's funny as well. So as we started today, our friendly lizard started to crawl up my foot again, and our friendly fly has come back. And it won't get out of the scene, but there you go. So even in our advancement, the things that are friendly, that we really didn't want around, are still coming around. And they're still doing their very best to disturb whatever they can. But it really doesn't even disturb us. It just makes us a little bit more easygoing, I suppose. So bear with me while I battle this really big fly that you can hardly see, and enjoy the position you're in while we take a little bit more of your time and advance in other ways. What we have gone through is every step to going past our logic that we could ever need. And we've gone through stages of throwing everything away, forgetting all those things that disturb us. And now we're heading back in, but in our own special bubble, where you'll see everything start to interact with you with a gentle freshness that you've never seen before. And life becomes much easier. And I can't say easier then because there's no comparison. It's just so easy. As we head back into all the things that we thought were terrible in the world, we'll find that they change because of that gentle breeze that we bring into everything just by approaching it and never touching it. So we never touch the problems, we approach them and watch them change. We never run away from them. All the people that are in disturbed mode will either go in another direction or they'll become calm and gentle. Not as an expectation, but because we don't know anything else. And in that bubble, it doesn't matter if you're upside down or facing the wrong way. Every direction is correct. So as the day goes on, you'll find that it's easier to exist. And all the things you thought you had to fix will still be there, racing in front of you and trying to annoy you. But you'll be able to see that it's always been there. It's like the plants, you know, they're beautiful one minute, next thing they've all gone brown. And you understand that, and you know you don't fix it, you replenish it. So in our world, our whole approach is going to change to replenishing and sometimes enhancing, but mostly replenishing all the stuff that we've painted over and thought that it was really good to keep. You know, we've even got really hard work making plastic flowers, all those things so that we don't have to replenish. So they're great things. It was a great art. But in fact, our interaction with the earth is quite different to where we were in maintenance mode. We're now in total integration with the movement of everything in and around us. And there's no judgment of good or bad, it's just more events. The logic that you had half an hour ago is gone. You won't be able to find it again. Because in that bubble that is above the elevated platform of living, that incorporates everything that we've spoken about, that incorporates everything that's ever going to come, you really don't have to do much except show that brilliance and that gentleness that affects everything around you. And then you don't have to handle any strange reactions, because most reactions are predictable and they're not strange. You just don't want to go through that, well, you don't cause it. So you know that you're going to get a reaction. Try gentleness. There won't be any. And you don't try gentleness by being gentle. Gentleness is part of your being, and it belongs to you in your special bubble. And you can all remember it, because when you're in that really special bubble, it's not in a special place, it's everywhere. And you don't have to create it. Of course, now that we introduced it, you can see that it was an actual gift on this day to each one of you. And those gifts come out of nowhere, and we can have all sorts of ways of describing how they happen, but in fact, it doesn't matter. It's just perfect. And to be able to float around and have the freedom of movement, of gentle interaction, of clarity beyond all clarity, is quite a big gift. And I started to write this morning, and I only wrote a couple of paragraphs. And as soon as I wrote it, I knew that this is what was happening today. And to attempt to explain it apart from say, here you are, this is what belongs to you now, is a little bit of a task, because I don't have anything to compare with. I don't have anything to give you apart from that's your own special bubble that's above the elevated platform of living. It contains everything about you and allows you to transmit the gentleness and the calmness of your true being. There's little more I can say on that, but you can see that it will allow you to go back into the world and start again. We're not at the end of a cycle. We're not at the beginning of a cycle. We're in a new world that has no start or finish. And all the things you experience in the world will be new. Even though it looks like the structures haven't changed, the systems haven't changed, but you have and the people have. And in that manner, you have allowed the world to respond to your gentleness. When I talk about the world, I'm talking about everything, even the concrete around you will respond to your gentleness. It won't feel harsh. And as you walk, even the stones on the road will develop a gentleness. And we could go into all the technology to say that it's not possible. You try it. You won't even notice you're walking on anything harsh. And it's not a matter of determining anything or even setting something in your mind. You know that bubble, you live in it, and you enjoy what it does for you. So I'm going to go to an early break and come back, and we'll go through a few other things that have come to me. But generally, I'd like you to enjoy the special feelings that come from your own special bubble. So we'll be back again soon. Okay, we're back. That's a bit of a hard act to follow. So I ran out of words because it's something that doesn't demand any comment. When we head back into the world, we'll be at a loss as to what we're supposed to do. And I think that's the area that we have to point ourselves towards and see what happens. If I make any plans, they'll probably change tomorrow. But if we talk about the general movement that we can see as prudent, if you like, in allowing the world to catch up to where we are, it seems like we should be doing some work. But in that bubble, there's no such thing. And so I'm sure that we will be headed in a direction, or many directions, that will be guided by the earth and the people in it. So the old system of having a plan, a policy, something that you can beat to death every day with your mouth, is not going to work. To have nothing in that sense is actually a relief. The work that we do now is to maintain either our own aggression, our own income that we don't need, other people's ideas, and maintain a system that they call essential in the international world. But in fact, none of it serves us at all. It serves a system that you can't fit in your world. And it's a system that you have really nothing to do with. But you're serving it. And so I'm sure what's happening now is without any rebellion, we're floating away from the system. It will become inactive. And in becoming inactive, everything that we know is perfect for everybody and for the world, will become active. And you don't have to point to anything. You don't have to get rid of anything. I always relate to, why would you go through the garbage, particularly when it's already been thrown in the garbage truck? But that's what we do every day. We discard things, we try and fix them, we try and recover. We destroy something and we don't get rid of it. And we leave smog everywhere that people walk through and become discomforted and they repeat what we did. Now we've seen that working. Now you have your own bubble. You can easily see the opposite will work. That gentleness will spread everywhere. That your own harmony and your own beauty will become the most valuable thing, not just in your world, but in everybody's world. And now you've experienced it a little bit, why shouldn't it be the most valuable? Why is a cup of coffee worth more than you? You don't get paid for being you, you only get paid for doing things. This is what's about to change. You'll be paid for being you, not by the system that needs you to work, but by everything that makes you feel whole, that gives you value within you and value to everyone around you. The sense that I'm getting is that all the things that we're doing now will gradually fall into the background. Years ago, we wouldn't be able to sit here like this because we'd have this big list of things we had to get done. And this was a waste of time. So we've advanced a long, long way to the stage where most of us don't even wear watches. Most of us don't care what the time is, except if we've got to do something in the world that's important to maintain our livelihood. I believe that we're going to the point where our livelihood will be maintained easily because each one of us has such a positive influence on the other that nothing is a problem. Each time we're with somebody and they feel that gentleness and that depth of being and that beauty that you cannot describe, there's a value system happening. And it's much more valuable than the system that we've been taught. And so we don't help one another, we're catalysts for one another. And as being catalysts for one another, we're all valuable to one another. And it's not based on what we give. It's not based on what we take or what we hold. It's based on feeling of positive movement, of beauty, of excellence in everything you do and see. And if in the meantime we have to continue to follow a system so that we get income, we'll follow it. But we won't be that interested. And in that lack of interest, the system will change. Even the information that is being delivered to everyone about our food, about how things work, are keeping us much more conscious of the fact that we don't accept things that are out of order. But besides that, you know, the beautiful music of the universe that Barbara found on Facebook the other day, confirms that everything we were talking about, we're driven by our own special music. We've been talking about it for years. And now they're recording the music of the planets. So a NASA movie actually records the music of each planet. And as it comes to Earth, you can feel it. And you can hear in the background your version of it while they're playing their version. So we're actually getting towards the things that are more valuable to us than the system that's running us. Like, how valuable is it to hear the music, to know that what we've already known for many years, people have been working on, and they've just published it because, I don't know, they've probably had it for 15 years. So all that is indicating change because of us. And we didn't really get in there and drive the spaceship or the camera, but we made it happen. In your own special bubble, you know beyond a doubt that you affect everything. And that's what I wanted to really bring home by describing what's happening around us. And the confidence you have in that connection is the most important thing you'll ever have in any world. That bubble is your source. It can't be measured, but it can be detected. It changes everything and disturbs nothing. It fulfills everything you could possibly imagine and doesn't upset the flow of anything. And we all are here at the same time doing the same thing with something that theoretically should overlap somebody else's, but it doesn't. So beyond what we know now is what we've always known. That sounds crazy. But we've always known everything beyond what we've been told. And at the time of life where we're ready to actually live that beautiful world in the bubble that is ours, we're drawn out and turned into something different. So I think you'll find our influence will change all that, and the systems that we have in place to run finances of the world will disappear. And all we have to do is keep that brilliance of our own little bubble, as big as it might be. Keep that, live it, enjoy every moment. And watch what happens, because the movie we're looking at now, I mean the movie of the world, is more complex than we desire. Because the parts that are being sent to us are made up. But the bit that we see and that we interact with is totally perfect. And that's all we need. And when they show us something that is out of order, we turn off the TV. We turn off the TV in our own head. And we turn off the sound. And we go to that gentle space that needs none of that. So as we go along, we'll probably come up with more things to talk about. But I think what our next step is to involve more people. not just me talking, but other people in the world, people in our group, people who turn up from other places. And we'll start to put together that interaction that allows us all to hold one another with a beautiful sense of respect that we know we have in our own bubble. I'm going to leave a lot of that up to everyone that helps put all this together. But there are so many writings and so much information, so much assistance from Simeon, that we're now able to handle it with ease, and we don't have to hold back from the acceleration, from the force of those energies that we think are too much for us. Because in your own bubble, it all fits, and there is no influence that can affect it. So with that perfection in mind, I'd just like to wish everybody that the best of solstice, is it? I'm not real good with all those words. But know that this is not just a coincidence. This is what it was meant to be for many, many, many years. To appear on this day, at this time, in this manner. And there's not anybody in the world who could not just nod and say, yeah, I knew that. Because it is an event that's yours and that I'd love you to celebrate. So advancement is the theme, but you don't have to work at it. Value system is the theme. There's nothing more valuable than you in your world and your life. And income will happen by whatever means is necessary because we are here. And as a catalyst for one another, we really make a difference in everyone's life. So enjoy the rest of your day. We're about to close off again. And I'm sure everything will be different again next week. But for this week, it feels like the total roundup of everything. But it never ends. And there's always more. Thank you.